The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Friday, August 15th, 2025, have Sharon seeing a new side to Nick, Kane making a promise to Lily, and Adam losing patience with Chelsea's loyalty to Billy. Sharon and Nick grew close in Nice after Nick faced a potentially life-threatening injury. Longtime fans of the couple feel like it's always been just a matter of time before the two reconciled. On Friday's show, watch for Sharon to see a new side to Nick. Will this be a good side or a bad one? Viewers recently saw Nick practically threaten Billy over Billy's remarks about Nikki. If Sharon sees a similar reaction from Nick, would she be drawn to him or chased away? On one hand, Nick's loyalty to his family is admirable. On the other, Sharon knows violence is not the answer. On Friday's show, Kane is going to make a promise to Lily. What could this promise be? Kane may tell Lily that he's not going to use his enormous wealth to take over established family-owned companies in Genoa City since so many would be hurt in the process. It's possible Kane could tell Lily that he's going to stop pursuing her. That could prompt Lily to open her heart and let Kane back into her life. Kane is so determined to re-win Lily's love that we could see him promising her anything. Chelsea wasn't there when Nick and Adam almost got into it with Billy at Crimson Lights. She's been trying to keep the peace by imploring Adam not to go after Billy. Things have changed, however. This isn't just Victor not caring for Billy. Instead, Billy has teamed up with Kane, who wants to go after the Newmans on a business level. Adam may feel that all bets are off. On Friday's show, watch for Adam to lose patience with Chelsea's loyalty to Billy. Chelsea has maintained that she wants to see the Newman-Abbott feud end. However, Adam may have no control over ending the feud now that Billy has raised the stakes. Adam's been patient with Chelsea, but now she may be forced to pick a side. Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Welcome to the Young and the Restless Daily YAPP. For a quick, and by that I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. On The Young and the Restless today, Victor was still worried that Kane could take over his companies, including Chancellor Industries, and blasted his wife for almost selling it to Kane back in France. If she did, that would mean that she owned it outright and had sole signing authority to do so. And not to get all techie and picky about this, but what is happening right now in Genoa City? Why are the GC business elite freaking out about Kane taking over? They all have privately owned companies. Worst case scenario is that some investors own shares, but even if that is the case, Victor would have to own less than 51% of his own company to be worried. Even in Billy's case with Abbott Communications, Kane could buy Jack's shares if he wanted to sell them, but Billy still owns more shares, or so we hope. Has Victor spread out his shares so that if his family turns on him or his investors sell theirs, it'll total more than 51%? If that's the case, he should quit spending his time trying to break up Kyle and Claire and get his ducks in a row. It's not that hard to tell his kids that in order to protect their companies, everything is going into his name. Problem solved. Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full Y&R recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not, seriously, do not forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is, if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that we have to ask, should Y&R free Sally Spectra from Billy Abbott and end this romance that's dragging her down? Let's face it, Billy and Sally haven't been portrayed as a madly in love couple. Every time Sally and Billy are on screen, they're usually finding ways to bicker about business, Kane Ashby, or any other issue of the day. Everything is always such a chore when it comes to these two. So are Billy and Sally even getting much enjoyment out of their relationship anymore? Sally walked away from her successful fashion career to join Billy at Abbott Communications, but he bailed on that to focus on his Chancellor pursuit. Billy put it in writing that Sally could run the media company if he got control of Chancellor. But he recently decided she's right about her going ahead and running Abbott Communications now. That's good news since the company would probably flop with distracted Billy in charge. Billy can never concentrate on one thing for too long, and that includes Sally since she never gets much of his attention. Since Billy is a terrible boyfriend, we have to believe Sally could do a lot better. Sally hasn't proven lucky in love so far on the CBS soap, but there's still time for her to turn things around. That could happen if Y&R decides to free Sally from her pairing with Billy and let her fall for somebody else instead. There's surely a better option out there for Sally, whether it be someone already on canvas or a new guy who hits Genoa City. We wouldn't mind watching Sally ditch this Abbott Communications nonsense and get back into fashion too. Running a media company just isn't Sally's passion, so she might remember that and shift gears sooner or later. Sally could use a total life overhaul when it comes to her career and romantic future, so maybe all that could start with a Billy split. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sally could be forced to make some tough choices as new Billy problems pop up, so we'll bring you updates on any breakup drama that might be brewing. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that there could be some launch party drama, a fake BFF disaster, and a super couple that gets tested. Some excitement's on the way in Genoa City, so let's discuss the curveballs ahead on the CBS soap. For starters, Abbott Communications is finally gearing up for their launch party since Sally Spectra has been sorting out the last details. Sally is hoping to make a splash with the new media company, which Billy Abbott has agreed to go ahead and let her run now. There's no point in delaying the inevitable since Billy fully anticipates taking control of Chancellor sooner or later. However, trouble could be brewing if this launch party doesn't go according to plan. We couldn't put it past Kane Ashby to sabotage the bash since he's proven he can't be trusted. Jack Abbott refused to strike a deal with Kane, and Billy's inside man plot is something Kane may see right through. There's the potential for Kane to fight back and attack Abbott Communications in the process. So will Sally and her launch party pay the price? As for Nick Newman, he'll move forward with a phony Kane friendship and carry out Victor Newman's orders. Nick will do his best to establish an alliance and keep Kane's attention on a Djibouti takeover instead of one at Chancellor. That said, there's no guarantee Nick will successfully convince Kane that they're suddenly BFFs. Nick's attitude adjustment will be suspicious and could leave Kane with his guard up. Things could take a disastrous turn if Kane figures out Nick's playing him and retaliates. Kane wasn't born yesterday, so it'll be interesting to see if he can be smart about this and keep the Newmans on their toes. Meanwhile, a popular Y&R super couple will be tested thanks to all the corporate chaos. Victor and Nikki Newman's love has survived a lot over the years, but their marriage is about to take another hit. Nikki obviously doesn't approve of Victor's plan to throw Jack and his family business under the bus. The Abbotts don't deserve that as far as Nikki's concerned, but Victor disagrees and will have no problem feeding them to the wolves. Depending on how it all plays out with Kane, Nikki and Victor's relationship may become strained. The more trouble Victor makes for Jack and Djibouti, the worse things may get in Victor's marriage to Nikki. The Young and the Restless spoilers say several storylines will bring stunning news and heated confrontations, so stick with us for updates on all the turmoil. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, August 15th, reveal that Sharon Newman will face a Nick Newman shocker while Chelsea Lawson pushes Adam Newman too far. At Crimson Lights, Nick will join Sharon and perhaps come clean about serving as Victor Newman's recruit. Victor wants Nick to become Kane Ashby's buddy and convince him that the Newmans think he's a force to be reckoned with. Of course, Nick still despises Kane, but he'll be willing to put on a show for the sake of protecting his family. The goal is to distract Kane from Chancellor and help him go after Djibouti instead, so Sharon may be a little taken aback by that planned outcome. Jack Abbott is a good man and a friend of Sharon's, so she won't be thrilled about his family business being a target. The fact that Nick's willing to sacrifice the Abbotts for the Newmans could unsettle Sharon a bit. Y&R spoilers say Sharon will indeed witness a surprising side of Nick, so she may not approve once she gets updates on his latest news. Meanwhile, Adam won't approve of Chelsea's behavior either, since she'll continue to be Billy Abbott's defender. It'll frustrate Adam, so he'll lash out after Chelsea pushes him too far. Adam will think Chelsea needs to fully join Team Newman and stop pretending Billy is some innocent party. However, Things are complicated when it comes to Billy, who intends on being an inside man and protecting Jabot from Kane if all goes well. At some point, Adam and Chelsea will run into Nick and Sharon at the coffee house, so Kane and Billy will no doubt come up during that conversation. Finally, Kane will make a vow to Lily Winters, who'll wait for his answer about the deal she's proposing. Lily's willing to help tell the twins about his double life, but she wants Kane to tell her the whole truth about his return to Genoa City in exchange. Even if Kane doesn't make a full confession now, the Young and the Restless spoilers say he'll make a powerful promise and try to earn Lily's trust. She stood her ground as she laid some ground rules. Kane was excited to see Lily again, despite the destruction he's caused, but Lily needed to set some ground rules with her ex-husband, especially since he's back in town and staying around this time. However, Kane wants Lily to stand beside him on the Young and the Restless. Kane has trains all around the world. He parked a new one in Genoa City. He invited Lily onto the train that looked eerily similar to the one in Nice, the one they were all held hostage on. Lily asked him if he had that particular train shipped to Wisconsin. Kane explained that he had one on every continent and that he thought they were romantic. However, as Lily stated, trains can also go off the rails. We could see this veering off the rails very soon. Lily wanted to set ground rules with Kane. Although she doesn't trust him, she understands that they have to find a way to coexist. That means telling their kids what happened. But Kane assumed that Lily would do that for him. He wanted them to stand together, but for her to do the dirty work. Lily had to figure out how to stand on her own after Kane left Genoa City in 2019. Now that she's found that inner strength, she can't go back. She's willing to put on a united front, but that doesn't mean she should clean up after the messes he made. Kane isn't afraid to own what he's done. However, Lily is someone who worries about her image and reputation. She doesn't want to get involved with the fallout. However, she will consider joining him in talking to their kids. Thankfully, Lily hasn't come around to Kane. She doesn't trust him and hasn't forgiven him, but she knows he's a good father deep inside. Lily seems keen on standing by Kane, just as long as she doesn't get weak and allow him to do whatever he wants, including hurting her and her family. Victor hopes this approach could help the Newmans win in the end. In the August 14th episode of The Young and the Restless, Victor Newman took a calculated risk that could either outmaneuver Kane Ashby or hand him the upper hand. Rather than challenge Kane head-on, Victor turned to his son Nick, tasking him with a quiet infiltration of Kane's world to steer his rival away from Chancellor and toward a different target. Victor's came to pulling Chancellor out from under them. Victor decided the smartest play wasn't to push back immediately, but to redirect his energy. By sending Nick to cozy up to Kane and present himself as an ally, Victor is aiming to plant a seed that Kane's next big win lies with Jabot, not Chancellor. The goal is clear: protect Chancellor without Kane realizing he's being managed. If Kane takes the bait, Newman Enterprises sidesteps a head-on battle and positions itself to watch Kane take on a whole new war elsewhere. The problem? Nick and Kane have history and not the kind that fosters trust. Convincing Kane that they share the same objectives will require careful maneuvering. Any hint of duplicity could send Kane into full defense mode, triggering retaliation not just against Nick, but against Newman's business interests as a whole. Still, Victor believes Nick has the skills to sell the act. If he can make Kane forget Chancellor long enough to get entangled elsewhere, the Newman family could quietly shore up its defenses. The move leaves no room for error. Kane has proven himself unpredictable, calculating, and willing to push boundaries to get what he wants. If he sees through the act, Newman's advantage evaporates, and they might end up in a more dangerous position than before. But if it works, Victor's quiet power play could neutralize Kane without a public war, leaving Newman Enterprises stronger than ever. The question now is whether Nick can play the role convincingly enough to pull it off. For the past 3 years, the Young and the Restless viewers have watched Zuleika Silver take Audra all over Genoa City, from scheming in the corporate world to romancing lovers, some just to romance, others to scheme. And we couldn't be happier that the CBS star is still front and center in all of the drama. To celebrate the milestone, the actress posted various photos and videos to celebrate her anniversary and sent fans a note of appreciation. Exactly 3 years ago today, I filmed my first Y&R scene. Where does time go? She stated, then went on to reminisce. When I look back, I realize how much I've grown from that excited yet nervous woman who walked onto set that day, not knowing exactly what I was getting into. Still, I chose to rise to the occasion and gave it my all. Still do. Of her time on Daytime's #1 drama, Silver continued, I have learned so much along the way and wouldn't trade this experience for anything. So, with all that being said, here's a little Y&R dump to share and celebrate this moment with you all. The actress acknowledged that some of the things Audra doesn't always make fans happy and shared. I know Audra has y'all pulling your hair out right now, but not all is lost, haha. Truth is, I really enjoy playing her and getting to know her more and more with every script. She's so fun, flawed, but still has heart. To close out the post, Silver wanted all of the fans to know, I appreciate all your support for this bad girl, and we want her to know just how much we love to watch Genoa City's bad girl each day on our screens. Congrats to 3 years with hopes of many more to come. Sharon worries about Nick. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, August 15th remind viewers that Adam and Chelsea's reunion never made sense, and that neither has had anything interesting to do since then. Is that about to change? Victor gave Adam his marching orders. Go forth, son, and destroy the person who annoys me at the moment. That would be Billy Boy Abbott. If you don't, Adam, then I, your loving father, who loves all his children equally and would do anything for any of them, will stop loving you, for your own good. Adam was ready to get with the program, until Chelsea stepped up. Chelsea feels so bad that she dumped Billy for Adam. She is convinced that Billy is heartbroken and devastated, and honestly, he'll probably never get over it. That's why Chelsea is being magnanimous and asking, okay, demanding, that Adam not go after Billy. He agreed, while Victor was out of town. Now that Daddy is back, Adam knows what he needs to do, which is why the next time Chelsea brings up poor Billy, Adam isn't feeling it. Nick has also been ordered by Victor to go after Billy. They nearly came to blows while Nick and Adam were getting coffee and plotting strategy, and Nick shows no signs of cooling down since. This upsets Sharon. She thought she'd seen every possible side of her many times ex-husband. So what's this new one? Lily has made it clear to Kane that they are, to quote Taylor Swift, never, ever getting back together. Kane doesn't know how to take no for an answer, so Kane makes another heartfelt promise to Lily, which she could not care less about. She's just not that into you, man. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease that Phyllis Summers might face arrest if Kane Ashby's scheme backfires. Could Phyllis end up being the fall guy and find herself behind bars as a consequence? Phyllis has been yearning for a way forward, particularly after all the turmoil she faced during her time in captivity at the clinic. Martin Laurent subjected Phyllis to an overwhelming amount of trauma that she has yet to fully confront. Rather than dealing with her past, Phyllis is immersing herself in Kane's latest venture, putting herself at risk. In the Y&R episode airing on August 12th, Daniel Romalotti Jr. definitely raised the alarm about Kane's outrageous plan for domination in Genoa City. Daniel urged Phyllis to escape now before Kane ensnares her in a disaster that could make her a target. In Daniel's view, Phyllis is flirting with danger and is bound to face consequences like never before. He might be onto something when he suggests that Phyllis should sever her ties with Kane and seek a different business opportunity. Yet Phyllis is the type of person who stubbornly stands her ground and ignores sensible advice. This is precisely why she will charge ahead with her partnership with Kane, likely to infiltrate all the companies he has his sights set on. Kane is relying on Phyllis to utilize her skills effectively, but this could spell trouble if she engages in illegal activities for him and ends up in hot water. One can easily picture Phyllis being arrested when everything inevitably unravels around her. Phyllis could find herself in serious trouble and possibly end up in jail, particularly if Kane attempts to pin the blame on her as part of his elaborate scheme. Kane may try to keep his own reputation intact, suggesting that Phyllis acted on her own to engage in underhanded tactics. Should Kane betray Phyllis in this manner, Amanda Sinclair will face a tough choice: stand by her boss or abandon him to assist Phyllis instead. In any case, Y&R spoilers indicate that Kane will be making adjustments to his plan as things unfold, so be sure to catch the upcoming shocking revelations and daring actions. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Victoria Newman is grieving the loss of one of her great loves. That factor makes Nate Hastings' support for Victoria intriguing. Cole Howard was a good man who realized his reclaimed family in the months prior to his death. But Peck's character didn't end up as Victoria's husband for what would have been a third time. Her single status and the effects of unexpected grief due to the shock of Cole's death will allow her to be open to another good man. Nate, who made sure to offer his condolences upon Cole's death, fits that bill and appears to be in the process of disillusionment with Audra Charles. Audra has always seen Claire Newman as inferior. Claire is many times the human being Audra is, because of the terrible childhood experience she had at the hands of her father's aunt, who was also her great-aunt. Jordan Howard cared about Claire, but in a way that was warped and manipulative. As devoted viewers recall, Jordan stole Claire at birth from Victoria and Cole and raised her as her own. Claire was told that her parents had abandoned her and that they and the Newman family had to be killed. But Claire was able to break Jordan's hold and played the most vital role in Jordan's downfall. The street fighter demeanor Claire learned from Jordan is about to be employed against Audra, who continues to make a play for Kyle Abbott with his apparent latent interest. Victoria was rolling nicely along. All was as well as could be at Newman Enterprises. Yes, her father returned to the big chair, but she was content in the other top spot he gave his firstborn child. Realizing Eve's miraculous return to her life created infinite joy in Victoria's heart, as well as in Cole's. Their daughter, who has retained the first name Claire but took her mother's maiden name Newman, reset Victoria's world in the best possible way. Heine's character was also pleased with Cole's return to Genoa City, Wisconsin. That pairing seemed likely to marry a third time, possibly later this year or into the next. Then, Cole contracted Legionnaire's disease while on a foreign business trip and was soon gone. So, Victoria needs to center herself again. Nate was opposed to Audra going into business with Victor again, but she rationalized the deal where he would fund Vibrante, and also didn't tell Nate the arrangement involved her making a play for Kyle in exchange for funding. Claire was probably going to ignore Audra, though it would have been hard, after she implied something went on in France with Kyle. But then Claire happened upon Audra and Kyle kissing at society in the broad daytime light. Erin's character is now fully motivated to seek revenge by telling Nate what she saw Audra do. That type of payback effort will lead to Audra needing to explain herself to Nate, which will create natural disenchantment and serious doubt regarding her feelings for him as compared to whatever she feels for Kyle. Plus, what's going on with Adam and Chelsea? For the Friday, August 15th episode of The Young and the Restless, spoiler photos focus on Kane's continued conversation with Lily while on his personal train. Plus, Sharon and Nick catch up over beverages at Crimson Lights. If the Y&R teasers are any indication, Billy will be the source of conflict between Adam and Chelsea, so look for the Abbott to potentially cause trouble for the couple. Meanwhile, Billy's trying to figure out how to get Chancellor and not be the guy to help Kane bring down Jabot. Sharon and Nick are navigating life post-kiss. At Crimson Lights, things look slightly intense between the two, which means they could be talking about Nice, their kiss, and attempting to define what's next for their relationship. Or maybe Sharon is venting to Nick about what's going on with Mariah. This image shows a distance between Kane and Lily. One is even sitting down, while the other is standing. It feels like they may be on different pages now, but how much longer will that last? As far as Lily's concerned, it would last forever. But who knows? She is determined to get close to Kane and discover intel on his agenda for Genoa City's corporate community, so their relationship could evolve or thaw even. Since reuniting, things between Chelsea and Adam have been smooth sailing. However, there are two major issues plaguing the couple professionally: Victor and Billy. Specifically, Victor's orders to weaponize Newman Media against Billy, and Chelsea's insistence that Adam defy his father's orders. She has continually chosen to protect Billy. Well, her loyalty to her ex is about to become a major bone of contention. So, Chelsea's smile in the second photo may not last. Finally, look for Adam and Chelsea to run into Sharon and Nick at Crimson Lights. The Newmans as a whole are actually getting along, even Adam. So this shouldn't be a contentious situation. It's the Newmans versus the world these days, after all. In addition, Adam and Chelsea get some alone time with Sharon. Is Nick the topic of their conversation? The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of August 18th suggest some curveballs are ahead. Fans can expect Lily Winters to play a dangerous game. However, is Kane Ashby playing games as well? Meanwhile, Nick Newman and Sharon Newman face a setback. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with Lily, who is taking Victor Newman's suggestion about Kane. The tycoon seems to have hope when he was contacted by Lily, asking for a meeting. About halfway through that meeting, Lily found an opening to get what she wants from Kane. However, Kane is a crafty guy and has learned a lot over the years. One interesting moment was that Kane claimed he now gets sick from flying, something Lily doesn't recall from his younger years. So that could be a clue. Kane seems like a bright guy who has learned to read people very well. Although a few of his statements have caught Lily off guard, Kane could be making a risky gamble. The man might hope that he can charm Lily back into his bed. Although Lily pretends to hate the man, I wonder if she's just covering up her own feelings. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of August 18th reveal that Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson will have some conflict. Chelsea will continue advocating for Billy Abbott. However, with everyone learning about Kane and Billy's alliance, they are all assuming the worst. It seems that Adam and Chelsea could have some romantic obstacles over Billy. Over with Nick, he will be on fire to help Victor defeat Kane. There is a lot that Nick is fuming about when it comes to Kane. However, I wonder if Nick will go too far, and that could explain Sharon Newman seeing a new side to the man. There is also Claire Grace Newman, who could give Audra Charles a dose of her own medicine. When Nate Hastings returns from Chicago, he could get a startling dose of reality from Claire's bombshell. How does Audra expect to talk herself out of this one? Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of August 18th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates for the next 3 weeks tease that Kane Ashby will turn down Victor Newman's proposal. In the meantime, Kyle Abbott attempts to create a romantic solution, and Sharon Newman notices warning signs. During the week of August 11 to 15, Claire Newman will come to the conclusion that she's had enough of Audra Charles creating so much chaos. After witnessing Audra's kiss with Kyle, Claire will take decisive action. Audra has been flirting with danger and may soon face the consequences. Claire might be the one to inform Nate Hastings about what his girlfriend has been up to, leaving Audra in a difficult position to justify her actions. With Audra's kisses with Kyle and her involvement in Victor's scheme of romantic sabotage, there will be plenty of reasons for Nate to explode if he hears the news. Lily Winters will shock Holden Novak with the revelation that Damien Kane was killed during the trip to France. Holden will also trick Lily. He'll convince her he was unaware that Kane was actually Aristotle Dumas, prompting her to warn him that Kane is not to be trusted and to advise him to be cautious. Meanwhile, Kane is likely to reject Victor's offer to collaborate against the Abbotts. Instead, Victor will devise a revenge scheme against Kane and will ultimately enlist Nick Newman to join him. Nick will also experience a significant outburst, directing his anger towards Billy Abbott. Billy should prepare himself for the backlash that will come if he chooses to side with Kane, although in reality, he's merely putting on a facade to safeguard Jabot. Meanwhile, Jack Abbott will respond to a compelling invitation. Kane might call Jack for a business discussion, but his focus will soon shift to Lily and a crucial commitment. Since Kane still thinks he's meant to be with Lily, he may promise to do whatever is necessary to help her realize that as well. With Christine Blair and Danny Romalotti preparing for their upcoming wedding, they will require assistance. Christine is likely to reach out to Lauren Fenmore Baldwin to possibly secure her as the matron of honor. Meanwhile, Danny may receive a commitment from Daniel Romalotti Jr. to take on the role of best man. Daniel will also discuss his feelings for Tessa Porter with Danny, revealing the complexities of the situation. On the other side of town, Sharon might notice some troubling signs regarding Nick's actions. Is Sharon going to be concerned about Victor influencing Nick towards a darker path? Y&R spoilers indicate that the week of August 1822 will introduce some daring strategies for the Newmans, but Victor is determined to come out on top against Kane in the end. As Lily manipulates Kane in an attempt to gather information, her task may turn out to be more challenging than she anticipated. Lily's genuine emotions for Kane might interfere with her objectives and bring back memories of the love they once had. Meanwhile, Kyle could find himself facing a tough challenge in persuading Claire to trust him again after all the chaos caused by Audra. Once Kyle manages to handle the fallout and possibly executes a significant gesture, Claire will need to determine if they can move beyond everything that has transpired. During the week of August 25th to 29, Billy's insider scheme could become complicated. What if Kane discovers Billy's intentions, or he persuades Billy to turn against Jack and his own family business? Jack will attempt to place his trust in Billy, but there's a looming risk of catastrophe. Nevertheless, Jack will find a way to prioritize romance, especially since Diane Jenkins Abbott will be eager to reconcile their disrupted honeymoon plans. Meanwhile, Mariah Copeland will continue to grapple with her haunting memories, and she might encounter new challenges as well. Is it possible that Mariah will see Daniel making a romantic advance towards Tessa and start to question whether her wife is moving on?